20 months pursuant to section 12022.7D of the Penal Code. That's 1/3 of the midterm. And that's consecutive to the sentence in the prior count. So you have a total fixed term in prison of 15 years. Associated with count 4, you have a fee of $40 pursuant to Penal Code section 1465.8 and $30 pursuant to Government Code section 70373. Count 2, Penal Code section 192B, probation is denied. You are sentenced to the Department of Corrections for the upper term of 4 years stayed pursuant to section 654 of the Penal Code until the successful completion of the sentence I have imposed and permanently thereafter. Associated with count 2, you have a fee of $40 pursuant to Penal Code section 1465.8 and $30 pursuant to Government Code section 70373. I'm advising you pursuant to Penal Code section 29810 that any person who's convicted of any offense listed in sections 29800 or 29805 of the Penal Code is prohibited from owning, possessing, purchasing, receiving, or having under their custody or control body armor, any firearms, ammunition, and ammunition feeding devices, including but not limited to magazines. Any person subject to those code sections shall relinquish all firearms to a designee within the time period set forth in subdivision D or E of Penal Code section 29810 by surrendering the firearms to the control of a local law enforcement agency, selling them to a licensed firearms dealer, or transferring them for storage to a firearms dealer pursuant to section 29830. I'm obligated to read that to you. Obviously, there's no firearms involved here, and there's no allegation of had any firearms, period. So now I'm sentencing you to prison. That is the sentence that I've given. That's the sentence that you agreed to for the 15-year prison sentence. I'm going to read to you your appeal rights because there was a verdict here in this case, partially from the jury, and then I just have some brief comments, and then our sentence will conclude. This document is entitled Notification of Appeal Rights, Rule 4.305 of the California Rules of Court. You have an absolute right to appeal. You perfect your appeal by filing a notice of appeal with the clerk of the Kern County Superior Court within 60 days of the date judgment was pronounced. Today is March 5th, 2026, so within 60 days of today. You have a right to counsel to represent you on appeal. If you cannot afford counsel, you should petition the Court of Appeal 5th Appellate District to appoint an attorney to represent you. A transcript of all matters in this court on appeal will be provided to your appellate counsel as required by the California Rules of Court. The names and addresses are Tara Leal, Clerk of the Superior Court, Attention Appeals Unit, 1415 Truxton Avenue, Bakersfield, California, 93301, and Court of Appeal, 5th Appellate District, 2424 Cesar Chavez Boulevard, Fresno, California, 93721. And in a minute, we'll hand you a copy of what I just read from. Where are you? There you are. Emilio's not going to be forgotten by anyone. Sentencings are weird and strange, and because we have a sentencing in a horrible, tragic case like this, and then everybody leaves. And it's this abrupt thing that happens. There's a book called Forgive and Forget, and I reference that sometimes at sentencings because it's a book I read a long time ago, and I agree with it 50%. I agree with the forgive part because that allows the people that have been wrong certainly to move forward in your life. And the forget part makes some sense because that has to do with it can't be something that's carried as a burden forever that doesn't allow someone to function and continue to move on. However, Emilio's never going to be forgotten. Our justice system, our court of law, doesn't change what's happened. It is only within the confines of the law. In this case, we had a jury and good jurors that were thoughtful and deliberated and were able to make a unanimous partial decision. And the attorneys afterwards had a chance to speak with most of those jurors. it was certainly not an easy thing for them, and sometimes we forget about jurors and how hard it is for them. Because this is not easy for anyone. It's not easy for you, it's not easy for Maya. Emilio's not here. It's not easy for Mateo. It's not easy for their dad, your son. It's not easy for Maya's family. It's not easy for Manuel. It's not easy for anyone. It's not easy for the public to understand how anything like this could happen. So we turn the page now on this chapter, and the question is, where does everybody go from here? And I hope that there's some peace for everyone, because that's the only way to move forward. Maya will be going to prison. Maya already has a life sentence because of the loss of Emilio. And I hope as everyone leaves here today that what isn't forgotten is, and it won't be, Emilio won't be forgotten, that this can't happen again. So I'm remanding you now back to the custody of the sheriff and then the Department of Corrections to serve your time. Okay, we'll have the audience step out. Deputy Reisenhardt, can I talk to you real quick?
You can hang out there. You can hang out. And then I'll have you guys step out as well.